Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. We cannot hear you, Prabhuji.
No?
No, now yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayamadhirayet. Nashtaprayesha Vadreshu Nityam Bhāgavata-sevayā. Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 22, The Orbits of the Planets. Raja Yadetat Bhagavata Adityasya Merum Dhruvam cha Padakshenena Parikramato Rasinam Abhimukham Pralachitam cha Pradakshinam Bhagavatopavarnitam Amusya Vayam Katham Anumime Mahiti. King Parikshit inquired from Shukadeva Goswami, My dear Lord, you have already affirmed the truth that the supremely powerful sun god travels around Dhruvaloka with both Dhruvaloka and Mount Sumeru on its right. Yet at the same time, the sun god faces the signs of the zodiac and keeps Sumeru and Dhruvaloka on his left. How can we reasonably accept that the sun god proceeds with Sumeru and Dhruvaloka on both his left and right simultaneously? Sa uvacha yatha kulala chakrena brahmata sa ha brahmatam tad ashrayanam pipilikadinam gatir anyaiva pradeshantareshvapi उपलभ्यमानात्वाद् एवं नक्षत्रराशिभिर् उपलक्षितेन कालचक्रेण ध्रुवं मेरुं च प्रदक्षिणेन परिधावतां सह परिधावमानानां तदाश्रयाणां सूर्यादीनां ग्रहाणां गतिरन्यैव नक्षत्रान्तरे राशि अन्तरे च उपलभ्यमानत्वात्. Sri Sukadeva Goswami clearly answered, when a potter's wheel is moving and small ants located on that big wheel are moving with it, one can say that their motion is different from that of the wheel because they appear sometimes on one part of the wheel and sometimes on the another. Similarly, the signs and constellations with Sumeru and Dhruvaloka on their right move with the wheel of time, and the ant-like sun and other planets move with them. The sun and the planets, however, are seen in different signs and constellations at different times. This indicates that their motion is different from that of the zodiac and the wheel of the time itself. स एष भगवान् आदिपुरुष एव साक्षान् नारायणो लोकानां स्वस्तस्य आत्मानं त्रयीमयं कर्मविशुद्धि निमित्तं कविभिरपि च वेदेन विजिज्ञास्यमानो द्वादशदा विभज्य षट्सु वसन्तादिष्व ऋतुषु यथोपजोषं ऋतु गुणान् विदधाति. The original cause of the cosmic manifestation is the Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayana. When great saintly persons, fully aware of the Vedic knowledge, offered prayers to the Supreme Person, he descended to this material world in the form of the sun to benefit all the planets and purify fruitive activities. He divided himself into 12 parts and created seasonal forms beginning with the spring. In this way, he created the seasonal qualities such as heat, cold, and so on. तम एवं सम तत् sorry तम एतम इह पुरुषास्त्रय्या विद्यया वर्णाश्रमाचारानुपता उच्छावै कर्मभिराम्नातैर्योगवितानैश्च श्रद्धया यजन्तो अञ्जसा श्रेया समधिगच्छन्ति. According to the system of four varnas and four ashramas, people generally worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayana, who is situated as a sun god. With great faith, they worship the Supreme Personality as the Super Soul according to ritualistic ceremonies handed down in the three Vedas, such as Agnihotra and similar higher and lower fruitive acts, and according to the process of mystic yoga. In this way, they very easily attain the ultimate goal of life. अथ स एष आत्मा लोकानां द्याद् आपृथिव्योरन्तरेण नभो वलयस्य कालचक्रगतो द्वादशमासान् भुङ्क्ते राशि संज्ञान् संवत्सरावयवान् मासः पक्षद्वयं दिवा नक्षत्रचेति सपादर्क्ष द्वयम् उपदिशन्ति यावता षष्ठम् अंशं भुञ्जीत स वै ऋतुर् इति उपदिश्यते संवत्सरावयवः. The sun god, who is Narayana or Vishnu, the soul of all the worlds, is situated in outer space between the upper and lower portions of the universe. Passing through 12 months on the wheel of time, the sun comes in touch with 12 different signs of the zodiac and assumes 12 different names according to those signs. The aggregate of those 12 months is called a samvatsara, or an entire year. According to the lunar calculations, two fortnights, one of the waxing moon and the other of waning, form 1 month. That same period is one day and night for the planet Pitraloka. According to stellar calculations, a month equals and one quarter, 2 and 1/4 constellations. When the sun travels for 2 months, a season passes, and therefore the seasonal changes are considered part of the body of the year. अथ च यावतार्धेन नभो वीत्यां प्रचरति तं कालम् अयनम् आचक्षते. Thus, the time the sun takes to rotate through half of outer space is called an ayana, or its period of movement in the north or in the south. अथ च यावन्नभो मण्डलं सह ध्याव आपृथिवीयोर्मण्डलाभ्यां कार्त्स्ने कार्त्स्नेन सह भुञ्जीत तं कालं संवत्सरं परिवत्सरम् इडावत्सरम् अनुवत्सरं वत्सरम् इति भानोर्मान्द्य सैघ्र्य समगतिभिः समामनन्ति. The sun god has three speeds: slow, fast, and moderate. The time he takes to travel entirely around the sphere of heaven, earth, and space at these three speeds is referred to by learned scholars by the five names Samvatsara, Parivatsara, Idavatsara, Anuvatsara, and Vatsara. एवं चन्द्रमार्क गभस्तिभ्य उपरिष्टाल्लक्षयोजनत उपलभ्यमानोऽर्यक्ष संवत्सरभुक्तिं पक्षाभ्यां मासभुक्तिं सपादर्शाभ्यां दिनेनैव पक्षभुक्तिम् अग्राचारी द्रुतचर द्रुततर गमनो भुङ्क्ते. Above the rays of the sun shine, by a distance of 100,000 yojanas, 800,000 miles, is the moon, which travels at the speed faster than that of the sun. In 2 lunar fortnights, the moon travels through the equivalent of a samvatsara of the moon. In 2.25 days, it passes through a month of the sun, and in 1 day, it passes through a fortnight of the sun. अथ चापूर्यमाणभिश्च कलाभिरमराणां क्षीयमाणाभिश्च कलाभिः पितॄणाम् अहोरात्राणि पूर्वपक्षापरपक्षाभ्यां वितनवानः सर्वजीवा निवः प्राणो जीवः जीवश्चैकम् एकं नक्षत्रं त्रिंशता मुहूर्तैर्भुक्ते. When the moon is waxing, the illuminating portion of it increases daily, thus creating day for the demigods and night for the pitas. When the moon is waning, however, it causes night for the demigods and day for the pitas. In this way, the moon passes through each constellation of stars in 30 muhurtas, an entire day. The moon is a source of nectarian coolness that influences the growth of food grains, and therefore the moon god is considered the life of all living entities. He is consequently called Jiva, the chief living being within the universe. य एष षोडशकलः पुरुषो भगवान् मनोमयोन्मयो मृत्युमयो देवपितृमनुष्यभूतपशुपक्षी शरी सरीस्पर्श सरीसृप sorry सरीसृप विरुधां प्राणापि आयन शीलत्वात् सर्वमय इति वर्णयन्ति. Because the moon is full of all potentialities, it represents the influence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The moon is the predominating deity of everyone's mind, and therefore the moon god is called Manomaya. He is also called Annamaya because he gives potency to all herbs and plants, and he is called Amritamaya because he is the source of life for all living entities. The moon pleases the demigods, pitas, human beings, animals, birds, reptiles, trees, plants, and all other living entities. Everyone is satisfied by the presence of the moon. Therefore, the moon is called Sarvamaya, all pervading. Tata uparishtad द्विलक्षयोजनतो नक्षत्राणि मेरुं दक्षिणेनैव कालाय कालायन ईश्वर योजितानि सहाभिजिताष्टाविंशतिः. There are many stars located 200,000 yojanas, 1600,000 miles above the moon. By the supreme will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they are fixed to the wheel of time, and thus they rotate with Mount Sumeru on their right, their motion being different from that of the sun. There are 28 important stars headed by Abhijit. तथा उपरिष्टाद् उसना द्विलक्षयोजनत उपलभ्यते पुरतः पश्चात् सहैव वार्कस्य सैग्रह्यमान्द्य साम्याभिर्गतिभिर्अर्कवच्चरति लोकानां नित्यदानुकूल एव प्रायेण वर्षयंश्चारेणानुमीयते स वृष्टिविष्टम्भग्रहोपशमः ग्रहोपशमनः. Some 1600,000 miles above this group of stars is the planet Venus, which moves at almost exactly the same pace as the Sun according to swift, slow, and moderate movements. Sometimes Venus moves behind the Sun, sometimes in the front of the Sun, and sometimes along with it. Venus nullifies the influence of the planets that are obstacles to rainfall. Consequently, its presence causes rainfall, and it is therefore considered very favorable for all living beings within this universe. This has been accepted by learned scholars. उशनसा बुधो व्याख्यातस तत उपरिषाद् द्विलक्षयोजनतो बुधः सोमसुता उपलभ्यमानः प्रायेण शुभकृद् यदा यदार्काद् व्यतिरिच्येत तदातिवाताभिर तथाविवाताभ्र प्राणाय प्रायाणवृष्टि आदिभयम् आशंसते. Mercury is described to be similar to Venus in that it moves sometimes behind the sun, sometimes in front of the sun, and sometimes along with it. It is 1600,000 miles above Venus or 7,200 miles above Earth. Mercury, which is the son of moon, is almost always very auspicious for the inhabitants of the universe. But when it does not move along with the sun, it forebodes cyclones, dust, irregular rainfall, and waterless clouds. In this way, it creates fearful conditions due to inadequate or excessive rainfall. अथ ऊर्ध्वम् अङ्गारकोऽपि योजनलक्षद्वितया उपलभ्यमानस्त्रिभिस्त्रिभिः पक्षैरेकैकशो राशीन् द्वादशानुभुङ्क्ते यदि न वक्रेणाभिवर्तते प्रायेणाशुभ ग्रहोऽगः संसः. Situated 1600 miles 1600,000 miles above Mercury or 8,800 miles above Earth is the planet Mars. If this planet does not travel in a crooked way, it crosses through each sign of the zodiac in 3 fortnights and in this way travels through all 12 one after another. It almost always creates unfavorable conditions in respect to rainfall and other influences. तथा उपरिष्टाद् द्विलक्षयोजनान्तरगता भगवान् बृहस्पतिरेकैकम् एकैक अस्मिन् रासो परिवत्सरं परिवत्सरं चरति यदि न वक्रा स्यात् प्रायेणानुकूलो ब्राह्मणकुलस्य. Situated 1600,000 miles above Mars or 10,400,000 miles above Earth is the planet Jupiter, which travels through one sign of zodiac within the period of a parivatsara. If its movement is not curved, the planet Jupiter is very favorable to the Brahmanas of the universe. तथा उपरिष्टाद् योजनलक्षद्वयात् प्रतीयमानः शनैश्चर एकैकस्मिन् रासौ त्रिंशन् मासान् विलम्बमान सर्वान् एवानुपर्येति तावद्भिर् अनुवत्सरै प्रायेण हि सर्वेषाम् अशान्तिकरः. Situated 1600,000 miles above Jupiter or 12,000 miles above Earth is the planet Saturn, which passes through one sign of zodiac in 30 months and covers the entire zodiac circle in 30 anuvatsaras. This planet is always very inauspicious for the universal situation. तथा रश उत्तरस्मात् ऋषय एकादशलक्षयोजनान्तर उपलभ्यन्ते य एव लोकानां शम् अनुभावयन्तो भगवतो विष्णोर्यत्परमं पदं प्रदक्षिणं प्रक्रमन्ति. Situated 8,800,000 miles above Saturn or 20,800,000 miles above Earth are the seven saintly sages who are always thinking of the well being of the inhabitants of the universe. They circumambulate the supreme abode of Lord Vishnu, known as Dhruva Loka, the pole star. Hare Krishna. Here ends this chapter 22 from the fifth canto, entitled The Orbits of the Planets. Yeah. Okay. So here there's a overall description about more something which we could relate, but again it depends on how much are we able to accept. So basically this chapter is saying about the movements. The question that was asked, I mean, how come that there is always that Sumeru and what was that? Sumeru Parvata, the Mount Sumeru, and Dhruvaloka sometimes are seen on the left and sometimes seen on the right of the wheel of the chariot of Lord Sun. And in that regard, the example given here is the potter's wheel. Just as the motion of ants on the potter wheel uh, is different from that of the wheel, the planets and the sun move separately from the zodiac and thus shift through different constellations and zodiac signs. And this whole thing is explained in this chapter, like how far is each planet and how are they moving. Is that all having their own paces, speed? Yeah, it ideally, if everything would go in the same pace, everything should have been same. On the left is left always, right is right always, but also the speeds, the directions, the distances, all this relativity makes things appear differently in different times. And according to the months, yeah, the sun, the soul of all worlds, passes through the 12 signs of zodiac and take on 12 different names. One month is two fortnights. This is what, yeah, one month has 14 days. And for some to cover 2.25 constellations is a day and a night for the Pitras. Uh, and 2 months constitutes a season. So that's why it is said that 1 month of our calculations is equal to 1 day of Pitras. So 2 day and night is equivalent to 2 days. That's why it is said that when someone passes away, then by the time the person reaches Pitruloka for 12 days, there is this Karya, Shraddha ceremony is performed. Actually, according to their calculation, it is 1 full year that's covered. Uh, did I say the wrong? Uh, I think I said, yeah, I think I said the wrong way, other way. So we have this 1 year. Actually, they take 12 days to go to reach, and each day of there is equivalent to 1 month for us. So that's why we do this some what do Shraddh ceremony after one year, and all the time one is doing masikas so that they get the strength to continue their journey. Yeah, and then there is this description about moon. The moments and glories of the moon is mentioned. Yeah, in fact, moon is the one who is giving everything, and that's why he is called potentialist. Yeah, who is giving all everything that's required. And then description of the stars above the moon is mentioned. There are 28 constellations headed by Abhijit, and then there is explanation about the Venus, Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. Uh, and then above them lives Saptarishis offer their who also travel. Hmm? Situated above that are Saptarishis who always are thinking well-being of everyone, and they circumambulate Dhruvaloka. Hmm? Above the Saptarishis, the supreme abode of Lord Vishnu. Here, actually, something, yeah. Why should actually stars and planets and sun, moon, all these are moving? Hmm? Why can't they just be stationaries in their own places and positions and etc.? Yeah, I don't know. Um, yeah, a wild guess is mainly because through this process of circulating, rotating or revolving, whatever, they're actually yeah, they have the Kendra Bindu as sun, and they're going around the sun. So they're also offering their circumambulation, pradakshina to the Lord. And of course, while they are doing this, because they are also affecting the zodiacs in which they are, so the influences are there. And because this is changing, that's why people who are affected by those are also, yeah, changing their own fortune. Yeah, because the question will come, how is it that a person who is born on a particular time will have certain influences of so this all, yeah, goes into astrology, where it is mentioned that when one is born at that time, yeah, in more or less the signs or this planetary positions are giving a kind of location. Yeah, they are saying, okay, what is that? Mm, just like if someone is in Germany or someone is in India, then there are respective conditions. So someone is born in Germany will have a different lifestyle or values, and someone is born in outside Germany will have. So similarly, the influences, yeah, are by birth given. Yeah, for example, we see, okay, by birth one can, who is born in Germany gets a German passport, for example, or yeah, German citizens boy is a German citizen or something like that. So similarly, when someone is born in particular constellation, when the stars are there, when they are seeing, because they are also called um, predominant deities, yeah, of or controlling deities. So that's why they also have the influence. So they render service through this process, and while doing this, they are also circumambulating around the sun to serve the sun god. Okay, that's very little I know, or no, that's everything almost I know. Maybe I'm not the expert in astronomy, astrology, so proper experts can actually help more. Okay, should we close the call then? Any announcements from anyone? No. Then all good. So we see us tomorrow. पंचकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय. श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. निताय गौर प्रेमानंद. हरे कृष्ण.